Mrs. Peterson?
Can I, help you?
My name is David. I knew your son. I was with him when he died. One of the things he asked was for me to check on y'all. You and your whole family here. I said I'd do that, and so here I am.
Would you like to come inside?
Thank you, ma'am.
Whoa, death has been good to Matthew Crawley. Lady Mary's probably like, hot damn, where was that guy all those seasons? Sure, Dan Stevens might be suffering from anorexia, but the results look pretty good. Is there anything else in this trailer besides Dan Stevens' hotness? Well, there is this overall creepy feeling, which I think is creating a pretty interesting ambiance, which I think makes it look not terrible, so Dan Stevens fans can kind of talk themselves into seeing it. However, it's from the filmmaker behind You're Next, a horror film which came out last year, which did pretty well. Some people really liked it. I had problems with it. I thought it was a little bit too over the top, and while it had some good filmmaking techniques, which you can see here as well, definitely someone who knows their way around a camera and a narrative, a narrative piece of storytelling. I hope this doesn't suffer from some of the, film school logic problems that You're Next was chock full of. But of course, this is quite the casting coup to land Dan Stevens, and horror films are of course very popular these days, so this might be exactly what he needs. Something else that's very interesting here is, I don't know if Dan Stevens' character really is a soldier, but this is part of a larger growing trend in Hollywood where soldiers are no longer treated as the sacred cow in terms of characters. They can be menacing, they can be evil. And I think some people have mixed feelings on that as to whether or not that's a good idea. Now this is a slight spoiler if you haven't seen Liam Neeson's Nonstop. You might want to check out now, but if you have, or if you're not going to, you might recall that a number of people were upset that the villains in that film turned out to be soldiers or ex-soldiers, and people felt that that was very, anti-military. Now, of course, some soldiers do go bad. I just saw the other day a trailer for this documentary that's coming out about these soldiers in Afghanistan who kind of became their own kill squad and are standing trial for that. And it's a very disturbing documentary where some of them actually defend themselves. And of course, some of them are quite remorseful that not only did what they did, but that they wound up in the situation they currently are in. And it's a very harsh, but yet, in this case, real look at military and what it does to people. So maybe this is a direction that Hollywood needs to go into. It's another way that Hollywood is demystifying war, which wasn't the case for a very long time. For a while there, especially during World War II, Hollywood created propaganda for the military and how great it was to serve and how, it was very heroic, and they hid the horrors of battle. And so I think that not only have movies like Saving Private Ryan and, of course, many, many war films highlighted the actual danger that soldiers are in, but now you start to have this next level of highlighting that maybe not all soldiers are good people. Again, it's a very slippery slope, and I don't know how much of an audience there is for it. I think people much prefer a film like Lone Survivor, also a true story about very heroic deeds. Although even that film, I think, underscored how the military doesn't always have the back of its soldiers. Very gray instead of black and white depictions of the military. So I'm curious, what do you think? Does Dan Stevens look super hot to you? Is that enough for you to go see this movie? And what do you think of the military aspect? Do you think it's important to show soldiers both good and bad? Or do you think, as I said, that's a slippery slope that maybe you think we shouldn't even get on? Write your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for tuning into my review. Oh, also, were you a fan of You're Next? Do you think that seems like a good horror team of talent? And are you curious to see what's next for them? All right, thank you so much for tuning into my review, and you can check out some more episodes right now.